There are people who will attack you, Mike, because you are white. There are people who will attack a farmer because they feel like the farmer has what they don't have. But that is not that does not mean that there is a white genocide in South Africa. We need to acknowledge the fact that by virtue of farms being in the outskirts, by virtue of farms being far away from the city, from a lot of people, from the police, they are, if I was a criminal, I would probably attack people that are further, And yes, I don't like what I see. I don't like the fact that they are being murdered. I don't like the fact that some of it is super brutal, but there still is no white genocide. I'm very happy that they mentioned Julius Malema. Yes, it was embarrassing, but I'm very happy with that whole show that took place, because I hope that because of what has happened, something will finally be done about Julius Malema. This excuse that the Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer song is being sung because it's part of our heritage or our history, that is nonsense. That is rubbish. Because bit by bit, hearing it every single day, that is desensitizing certain people from the idea of killing a Boer or killing a farmer. That is rubbish. We cannot ignore the effect that is having in the lives of people. Right? And hopefully something will be done. Something needs to be done. We need to stand up. If the government is not going to stand up, we together as the citizens need to say that this is wrong. Just imagine if white people started singing some songs that the National Party had. I don't know the songs, but if they started singing those songs, I know that a big story was going to be on the news every single day. But every time Julius Malema sings that song, there's some more other excuse of, he doesn't really mean it. The fact is, Julius Malema is one of those people who do mean to kill white people, in my opinion. He has said it over and over about slitting throats and all of that. The evidence is there regarding him, and he has a huge following. We cannot ignore that. He's a dangerous guy. He's a divisive guy. He's a guy that should be removed from even the ballot if it was possible. And that song needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, it was dealt with in Cyril Ramaphosa's unique fashion, where he said it's fine, it is just a cultural song, but yet the old South African flag was banned because that was now meant to be an incitement to something. I'd still not
remember
sure
how Panyaza was having a big cry and story regarding the orange and blue when many people were fighting against or protesting against the Bella Bull, and he was like, "Oh, orange and blue, that's a sign of they're taking us back," and all of that. That was the fact that he could do that, but kill the Boer is something else. It just shows their hypocrisy and the double standards. And we need to come to a place, if we are ever going to realize a rainbow nation, we need to stop with the double standards, which BEE is one of those.
Now, you mentioned something in there that I think is where I think we should go, and that is taking back the power. Right, because this is what you and I have started. We've started the revolution, people. The movement has started. It started right here with people like Katlego, where we tell people a different narrative based in truth, based in faith, based in what works internationally. And people are now starting to get behind us. It's no longer just some sort of fringe thinking. There's a lot of people questioning, saying, hey, what purpose does this serve?
Yeah.
And, where does it lead to? Do you think it leads to, it's already led to the questioning of certain things that a year ago weren't being questioned. A year ago we weren't questioning BEE.
Yeah.
Now it's being questioned in the open, it's being questioned in Parliament.
Yep.
It's making certain politicians, our president including, double down on this and say the most ridiculous thing, how it grows the economy. I'm not sure how dividing the pie into smaller pieces grows anything. Doesn't grow the pie. It just makes the pieces smaller.
Yeah.
Rather concentrate on growing the pie. That's been my argument. But I want to talk more about this taking back of the power to the people.
Yeah.
Are you finding a lot of people that are being persuaded by what you have to say?
I think a lot of people are being persuaded, but not enough, which is one of the reasons why I have not been able to come here as soon as as you've been inviting. I think although what we are doing is great, It is a start. Us having these conversations, you having your podcast, myself, and all the other people that are on our side, we are not doing enough because there's a large group of people that do not think the way we think, that do not have the Wi-Fi. And if they have access to Wi-Fi, watching politics is the last thing that they're going to go to on TikTok, YouTube, and all of that. So I think for us to push this movement, to give power to the people, we need to go to the ground. We need to go to that Kwamashu, that Guatema, to the townships, to the informal settlements, to the schools, high schools and universities, and actually talk to the people. What do you think about BEE? Have you considered this? Have you considered that? Because if we're just going to leave it here, 2026 and 2029, there are many people who have not yet watched our content who are still going to vote in the same way. So there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential, but we now need to take our resources in the form of time, money, and go down and speak to the people. I think that's how we're going to really make a bigger change.
Yeah, look, I think that I'm perhaps a little bit more optimistic about the impact that we've made. Mm-hmm. I think that in both our cases, we've doubled in the last year in terms of and we'll double again in the next year.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it. And that's starting to become significant. And I think the message is getting out there and I think that the people that we want to influence, it would be nice to get down to every person, but I think the first people to influence are the influencers. And we're doing that. Because you're seeing mainstream media talking differently, being a little bit more assertive because they're losing ground to us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm seeing some television interviews that are pretty hard. Yeah. They wouldn't be out of place on your platform or mine, and you want to say, a year ago you couldn't ask this minister a question that wasn't sir, Mr., madam, whatever you say, we'll accept your lousy answer.
Yeah.
So, I think that we're getting politicians to ask those questions in Parliament. Mm-hmm. I think that the veil has dropped. I think this veil of secrecy, and I think that we must take a lot of credit for it because I think it is making a difference. I think it gets out there. It's never going to, we're never going to get 60 million followers as much as we'd like that.
But I'd like us to get that to that 50% so that in 2026 and 2029, what my worry is, yes, the ANC lost the majority, which we are happy about. But if we look at how the vote was spread between or among the ANC and its babies, they still have the majority. Right? So they're leaving the ANC, that is a bit of an ANC light, and they're going to an MK party and an EFF, or EFF 9%, but MK party, which is worse than the ANC in my view. I don't know what you think, but I think the MK party is worse than the ANC because Zuma has this determination to do what the ANC is planning, but they're like, let's do it long term so that the people don't really see how communist we really are. Zuma is willing to say, we're going to take the land, we're going to take it now. Roman Dutch law doesn't work and we're going to scrap it right now, right? So based on how much Zuma got in the elections, for me, that's worrying. And that for me, that says, you need to do more. I'm grateful for the work that we have done. I'm grateful for the impact that we have made on the people whose minds are changing. But I'm not yet content. I'm not yet happy with. And I think the Zuma followers